Did you guys see Warren Buffett's newsletter? Annual letter came out Saturday, and I think really it was one of his best. It began with an ode to Charlie Munger, who he called the architect of Berkshire Hathaway, while Buffett says he himself acted as the general contractor carrying out day-to-day vision. There was all kinds of pieces in there, plus one like the family. Toward the beginning, he talked about shareholders, his family. In fact, how his sister is a long-time holder of Berkshire stock, which, by the way, he wants you in there long-term. Don't buy it if you're looking to trade it, okay, Jessica? So he talked about Bertie being smart, wise. She likes to challenge his thinking, although he said that they've never, ever had a shouting match or anything close to sort of rupturing their relationship. And by the way, they never will. He talked about rascals and trust. In fact, he borrowed a quote from Hugh McCall, who was the first comptroller of the United States, who said, "Never deal with a rascal under the expectations that you can prevent him from cheating on you." Talked about being prepared, folks. So important here. How he was in all cash, right, sitting right during the panic of 2008, and he made big money on it. And it prevented him also from doing desperate things. A lot of people were grappling for ways to find money. He didn't need to do that. Interestingly, this is juxtapose this against the Wall Street billionaires, and I just talked about this on Friday, who spent a whole lot of time predicting doom and gloom. Buffett says it wasn't a prediction. He just always wants to be prepared. And then, of course, the magic of Omaha, where he talked about this upcoming shareholder gathering in Omaha. He mused about how he and Charlie Munger were indelibly shaped by growing up there, going to public school there. His invitation to Omaha also took a slight dig at AI, maybe anticipating there's going to be a whole lot of questions on the topic, and of course his lack of exposure to AI. By the way, Berkshire Hathaway also posted their financials, which beat the street, absolutely crushed the street. And Buffett is now sitting on $167 billion. But he is concerned, right? He noted that the era of eye-popping performance at Berkshire is over. In fact, he's sort of fretting, right? Because it's tough. He's saying he's having a hard time looking for something that could move the needle. Interesting enough, he did say probably would have to be an American company. Keep that in mind, folks, because the U.S. stock market has significantly outperformed the rest of the world, and it's not by accident. And, listen, I'm sort of the Pied Piper of the stock market. I want people to own stocks, particularly great American companies, because that's what you own. My takeaway with the letter is that Buffett has made the notion of attaining prosperity through the stock market, through long-term investing, actually feel wholesome. In a world that says getting or being rich is selfish, that it's actually harmful. I mean, think about what he said about his sister. His sister has done so many wonderful things in her life for so many other people. So just something to keep in mind. I urge everyone, if you get a chance, make sure you read that Warren Buffett letter today. I read it on Saturday and I had chills. I'm not going to joke with you. I'm telling you, I really, really had chills. It felt so good. It felt part Americana. It felt part hopeful. It was a wonderful journey through a wonderful life. And of course, the ode to Charlie Munger is something that you don't see all the time. Someone saying, hey, I'm going to take a back seat because it wasn't me. This is a guy that came to me when I bought Berkshire's and told me all the mistakes I was making. And Warren Buffett did do something that I think maybe we all could learn from. He listened. He actually listened to criticism. And, well, he and Charlie have made history. No doubt about it. Warren Buffett has lived a charmed life, and I truly appreciate him sharing those snippets with us so much. Someone that knows Warren Buffett very, very well is going to take you to the next hour of trading. And Liz, I know you read the letter.
Yeah.
You must have got chills as well.
It's every year. It's really, really intense, and it's also a lesson in investing. And when he talked about how Charlie Munger went to Omaha public schools, every Buffett going all the way back had gone to Omaha public schools. And Warren used to joke to me about good public schools. He said, Liz, maintaining good quality public schools is like virginity. Easy to lose, but very hard to get back.
I'm not going to touch that one, but he's right.
Oh, he's a feisty one. Thank you, Charlie, very much.